Kind of a in and out of the cloud cover type of day. That's what we're waking up to right now. It's 43 last check at PDX. As I showed you before with radar, we've got a sprinkler or two here and there, and maybe a couple snow flurries in some of the higher terrain of the Cascades. But for the most part, Southwest Washington, with the exception of the coast, we are seeing a little bit of light rain there along the Long Beach Peninsula. For the most part, a lot of Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington dry this morning, but somewhat cloudy. 40 in Scappoose. It's 42 right now in Troutdale, 39 King City. Nobody terribly cold this morning, even hopping over the Cascades. I mean, 12 is cold in Burns, but relatively speaking, you can be colder than that, and you will as we get into our extended forecast. We'll get to that in a minute. 22 right now, Baker City, Pendleton, 39, and the Oregon coast generally in the mid to upper 30s. The North Coast, actually, Astoria, a little bit warmer at 44, where the clouds have been a little thicker overnight and into early today. Those clouds really, they're gonna stay put here, especially across the northern half of the viewing area. So like from Salem and north, I think a lot of us are in the cloud cover. Down towards Corvallis, Albany, Eugene, better chance for some sunshine in that part of the Willamette Valley today. But the rest of us will probably be stuck in the cloud cover. You can see Futurecast keeps those clouds just kind of stuck here along with one or two blobs of rain. So the idea here is that while we're not 100% slam dunk dry today, most of us probably will be dry with the exception of probably north of the Columbia River. We have a chance of a sprinkle, but otherwise a pretty quiet forecast. At the beach, chance of some light rain, especially for the north coast. So Astoria and points north, we've already got some light rain showing up, at least on radar, along the Long Beach Peninsula. You get down towards Pacific City, especially Newport, you may actually see some sunbreaks today with highs in the upper 40s in Newport. Columbia River Gorge, slight chance of a sprinkle, generally in the higher terrain. The gorge itself is generally dry, mostly cloudy, especially in the west end, and a west breeze on the order of about 10 to 20, so not quite as strong as yesterday with that west wind. Central and eastern Oregon, for that matter, partly to mostly sunny. There is the outside chance of a sprinkle in the higher terrain. I showed you radar just a minute ago. We do have some light sprinkles across the Columbia Basin this morning. Those should fizzle as we go through the day. And temperature-wise, even after the cold start, Burns gets to 41, Baker City in the 40s as well, Arlington, Pendleton in the 40s. And up and down the I-5 corridor, a day a lot like yesterday. Maybe yesterday actually wound up being a little nicer than I expected here in Portland. We got all the way up to 53. Modeling is generally in the upper 40s to low 50s up and down the I-5 corridor for today, for our Sunday. All right, let's fast forward into Monday. Tomorrow, President's Day, it looks like we start to see some light rain developing later in the day, and it will come in from the north to the south. This is our big weather maker, which is going to bring some big changes in terms of temperatures and precipitation types midweek. Here we are Monday afternoon. We start to see some rain developing, probably initially just at the coast and in the higher terrain of the Cascades, but eventually that system slides south. Monday night and Tuesday look wet and eventually breezy. And then as I roll the clock on Futurecast, Tuesday could wind up being stormy with maybe even a rumble of thunder. And then as that system continues dropping south, that's when the cold air comes rushing in. And this system looks a lot like the one that we had this past week, where we had rain changing to snow. And then the question was, will we or won't we see low elevation snow? I can say this, that it is still possible we could see some low elevation snow on Wednesday. And by that, I mean possibly in the valley, in Portland. It's still possible, but I think the bigger concern now at this point continues to be the really cold air coming in. Those lows, 24 on Thursday, 22 on Friday, would be some of the coldest air that we've seen. They'd be record lows. So that sets the stage for a very burry, cold finish to next week.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks, Chris.